Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome back to Reality Water Cooler. I am Sarah from Texas, and this is our place to chat all the latest celebrity news, which we finally have some stuff going on over the weekend. Reality TV, of course, 90 Day Fiance, and today's Jeff Lewis Live, although he might be on a plane right now. Yeah, he's probably on a plane right now going to New York City. So if you are the one that has a $10,000 dinner with him sometime this week, congratulations. How freaking exciting. Have a blast. Oh my gosh. You are so sweet. Thank you all for being so sweet. Lisa says, I was number one liking today's podcast. Don't forget to hit that like button, please. Thank you so much for the reminder. I missed y'all so much on Friday, but I did have a fabulous day. Ate myself not really all day long. So I'm sure every big city has these big Christmas markets. So Houston, of course, does. We actually have tons, but there's a huge one this coming weekend called the Nutcracker Market. I went to one last weekend. Sometimes I've gone to both. Sometimes I go to one or the other. Sometimes I miss all completely because I can't do the same stuff every year. I mean, not much merchandise changes from year to year, and it's the same activity over and over again. So anyways, this year, my friend and I went to what's called Sugar Plum Market, and it's about a third the size, if not more, of Nutcracker Market. So anyways, so fun. We went to lunch afterwards at Whiskey Cake. So if you like whiskey cake, what did I have? Oh, these meatballs. Had like an appetizer because I had this dinner planned with some girlfriends, and we were meeting at 5:15. We weren't eating until 2. We didn't even leave until like 3:15. And I knew I wanted their whiskey cake dessert. I wanted to try it. I'd never tried it. I've only been to Whiskey Cake 2 or 3 times. Is whiskey cake even a US thing? Or is it only, I mean, it's a chain, but it's not like Applebee's. It's not like a ton of them, but anyways, yes, thank you. Sandra says, I wish any of you veterans on here a big thank you for our service. Thank you. That's very sweet. And obviously for me too, as my both grandfathers were in the wars. My dad was in Vietnam War. My uncle was not. Let me think. I bet some of my dad's brothers were, and I just can't remember. I mean, there's only 11 or 12 of them. So anyways, I just honestly can't remember at this time. Anyways, so yes, happy Veterans Day to everyone for sure. We've got a flag out in our front yard because our local Boy Scouts troop comes around, and if you pay an annual donation fee to them, which we do, 4th of July, Memorial Day, Veterans Day, maybe one more I'm missing. No, they come around and put a flag in your front yard and then take it out the next day. Anyway, so we have a flag out there. Sugar Plum Market was so fun though. The dinner was fun. Then I came home, quickly changed, ran back into Houston to this super fancy restaurant that just opened up in June. It was so fun. Everyone was so nice. But when I tell you, we had some appetizer, a side called like mochi. I don't know, it was some mashed potato thing. I mean, I posted on my Instagram. I clearly didn't know what most of the menu was. I mean, it had a cold raw bar, a hot appetizer, a cold appetizer. I mean, I don't even know. It had this amazing guy attendant outside the bathrooms, not inside like sometimes people are. The bathroom was pretty amazing. Of course, it was floor to ceiling doors, toilet room doors, of course. But this fun guy named Ashton. So my girlfriend Kim goes to the bathroom and comes back with a glass of champagne. And we're like, we've got a waiter. Like she'd already had a glass of wine at the whatever. And then she was drinking wine all night. What did Isham have? I can't remember what Isham had. Anyways, I smelled it. It was gross, whatever she had. Anyway, she comes back with a glass of champagne. We were already finished pretty much eating dinner. And she was like, oh yeah, Ashton from the bathroom gave me this. And I'm like, wait, what? Now, we were in a restaurant last week with some other friends in Houston called Joey's Uptown. Now, they offer you a glass of complimentary champagne when you walk in the door. So I am usually the designated driver, as I was last Thursday, and I get one for my friends to just see whoever wants the extra. But this one, I've never seen any. Let me think. I mean, have I ever been offered a glass of alcoholic beverage at a bathroom? No. I mean, they usually have fancy perfumes laid out for people to borrow, little candy mints, lotions, tampons, all the necessities. And he had all that, but that was all inside the bathroom. He was outside the bathroom with a champagne cart. So anyways, he was so cute, so fun. So we had so much fun. Yeah, Krista says, I love a bathroom champagne. So of course we went, and I got my friend in Isham got one. Anyway, so it was fun. It was fun. Anyways, but I did miss y'all. I really did. So a few things happened over the weekend. So this has kind of been going on for a while now. Didn't even know who she was. Of course, I know who Zach Bryan is because one of my kids, well, two of them are really into country music, so they go to his concerts. But anyways, I've heard of Dave Portnow and Miss Peaches. I've heard of Barstool Sports. Obviously, I didn't know this BFF's podcast. So if anything, it got losers like me to know who she was. This Brie Lagriglia chicken fry. I don't know where the name chicken fry comes from, if it's a nickname, I have no idea. She was dating Zach Bryan for about a year. I saw whenever he broke up with her publicly, then she posted that she was blindsided by that. She didn't expect it to go public. I think she thought it was kind of a mini breakup, like not an official end-all be-all breakup is what I gathered from it. But she was like crying in the bathroom. She was like, for my mental health, I need to take some time off social media. So I don't even think at that point that I knew she was anything related to Dave Portnow and does this BFF's podcast with someone else. So then I realized Andy Cohen's talking about it today. And he talks, and I'd seen this, that she had been offered $12 million, but I thought, oh, that's not legit. That's hearsay. That's not true, whatever. I mean, I don't know. If it's true, is $12 million just nothing to her? Or is she like okay. I would love to say that I have morals and values and what have you, but I do think most people have a price, right? When people say like, oh, I wouldn't do that for 100,000, then they start saying, what, $1 million, 2 million and they start going, well, what I hear is that she was going back and forth. So she was agreeing to a payout to sign an NDA and not discuss the details of their relationships that might be detrimental to him in his career. They were going back and forth, and they got up to 12 million, and then they canceled the deal, or she canceled it. And I'm hearing, no idea what the truth is, that Dave was part of the reason. He was telling her not to take the deal, I think because they wanted to talk about it on their podcast. But is that going to get her $12 million? Like, I don't know. Does she? I don't know. I just think $12 million is whoa. And unless she comes out with more, I mean, I don't know all the details, but what I'm hearing so far is not what I thought it might be. I don't know. Diane says she said because she took a photo and her leg resembled a chicken fry, so she just kept the moniker. Okay, so that's why her nickname is Chicken Fry. Krista, why is my contact blurry today? Krista says she's not in a place where 12 million is not a big deal, but she was called a gold digger repeatedly. She's decided she was not selling her soul. She would rather tell her story. I mean, I don't know. Like Andy Cohen said, or maybe John Hill said it, okay, so she denies the 12 million and everyone's talking about it saying, okay, this guy's a bad guy. He was emotionally abusive, whatever. They're talking about her name and then we won't. So I don't know. Maybe she'll change it for other people. Maybe other people will come out. Now, do I wish things like, well, we're not even going to get into that. Never mind. Andy Cohen clearly thinks she should have taken the $12 million. So give me your thoughts. From everything we know right now, not anything worse, from what we know now, do you think she regrets not taking the 12 million? If they went back and forth, and then I'm here on a number, and then I'm hearing she eventually said no. I don't know. Okay, Andy Cohen's dad is 92 years old today. So happy birthday, Lou. I think it's no coincidence that Countess Luann was on Watch What Happens Live last night, because I don't know. I just think he's a flirter. She's a flirter. We all know his real love is Brandy Glanville, but that ship might have sailed. He might be anti-Brandy Glanville now that she's, been suing Andy and Bravo. Gina from Real Housewives of OC. This is confusing to me, and I'm team Gina. I like Gina. I've met her a couple of times. I love how she's brought herself up the last couple of years after the divorce with her husband. I love that she's made her and her children a priority with whatever's going on with Travis and the ex. I don't understand this, though. Apparently, there was a comment circled that came across my Instagram maybe Friday or so, and it was from Gina's official Instagram. I had the blue check and everything, and it was like, she's a great daughter and sister and wife, and I was just like, wait, what? Like, it didn't even make sense. And then somebody said, oh, I guess she didn't switch over from her burner account. Well, I mean, we all know what a Finsta or a burner account means, right? They claim all these housewives have them. Even Andy Cohen admits he's got his public one, and then he's got one that he really only limits to real friends and family that he really knows, not just fans, right? A private Instagram. But all these people have ones where they can look at stuff without anyone knowing, oh, that was Gina Kirchenheimer looking at my stuff. So she comes on and does a video and basically says, look, there's no drama here. That is my dad. My dad logs in to my Instagram all the time and deletes mean comments, so I don't have to see them. Now, somebody else said, or maybe they DM me or put it in the Facebook group, I'm not really sure, and said, this is common. A lot of them have a social media person. They have their logins and they log in. I said, yes, I'm well aware of that. When I paid Annie had my accounts to post. You can pay people to like comment for you, to like things, to delete comments, to manage all that. I didn't pay for her to do any of that because I wanted to be in control of that. The only reason she had some of my logins is so she could upload the videos for me, because I could also choose to either upload the videos for myself or pay her to upload the videos. Okay. Like TikToks, what have you, and hashtag and all that. So I understood that. I'm like, yeah, I get it. But I'm like, I don't know that many people are giving their dad, and I don't know how old her dad is. Some 70-year-olds, 60-year-olds are more high tech than 40-year-olds. I don't know, but I guess it's true. I don't know. It was weird to me. Like, I don't know how famous anyone would be that their parents are really logging in every day, all day, and have their password to delete mean comments. Like, it's a little hands-on. It's a little helicopter, like for a 40-something-year-old mom of 3. Anyways, okay, not helicopter, but this is still sort of ongoing. So, MJ and Jeff Lewis, friends for a long time. Jeff Lewis calls her one of his besties. She clearly has a history of asking to be invited to things, saying she feels left out. She's not invited to these vacations. She's wanted to take him to dinner for his birthday for like 2 or 3 years now. They haven't made that happen. She gets invited to Universal Horror Nights and then cancels, tells Shane, I don't think I'm going to make it, a couple of hours before. Maybe I got the idea it was like 3-ish hours before, 2.5, 3 hours, not really long enough for them to invite somebody else to this very expensive VIP 23 invited chumps plus Jeff Lewis to this event. He basically brings it up, and somebody, you know who you are, somebody admitted in the Sarah from Texas Facebook group, probably multiple people, I'm sure tons of people messaged him, but at least one said, hey, I let Jeff know about this podcast because I heard it and thought he would want to know. So he had already talked about it and pretty much said, and had, talked about it and said, look, I don't like that she didn't really give me details. She just said it was very private. Finally, I got over it, realized I'm not going to ruin a friendship over that. Then he hears about the podcast with Sheena Shea. Shenanigans. Okay, so here's the only clip. It is like 30 seconds. It's as soon as the November 1st podcast, Shenanigans with Sheena Shea, starts. Thank you for the people that gave me the timestamp for it. Basically, Sheena says, how was your weekend? Okay, so this is what it is. Remember, it was a Saturday. She doesn't deny that she had gone to Malibu and Nobu. Here's what she says. Do I know how to play?
I drank like 2 glasses of champagne on Saturday at Nobu and Malibu.
Oh, yeah.
And when I tell you, it was still not even noon and it knocked me onto my ass.
Uh-huh.
And then I felt like I stabbed myself with depression, and I've never been in such a downward spiral. So,
Damn.
Yeah.
Were you hungover?
yeah, I think it.
So people had pretty much told me before I ever made time to listen to it this weekend that, she had admitted she was day drinking, drunk. I mean, I guess I don't call 2 glasses of champagne day drinking. I mean, I guess you're drinking during the day, but anyways, that's why I like to listen to things for myself. And Jeff always says this himself. But after listening to that, which is literally like 22 seconds, they don't discuss it really any further. I take that back. What she says after that is that she's on the weight loss shots, that she's admitted, like the Ozempic-ish. And she says that she thinks that she can't tolerate alcohol as much anymore. It doesn't make her want to have it anymore. My eye is really blurry, so it's making the comments really blurry, which is annoying me. Anyway, sorry about that. So I made a video of it because I'm like, I don't know. First of all, she said 1 glass of champagne on Jeff Lewis over and over. On this podcast, she says it was 2 glasses of champagne. And then she's talking about herself being in a huge depression for the rest of the day and even being hungover. So I'm assuming she means to the next day. My interpretation was that she was adamantly saying a friend needed her. But then she was also saying, I'm stuck in Malibu, which she's told Jeff, I was already home. My day plans ended by 11. It had nothing to do with my evening plans. So I don't know why you're upset with me. I don't know. Give me your thoughts. I really don't think Jeff listened to it, though. I think he heard someone's interpretation. And as we know, I've proven it with myself. I have had people say interpretations of stuff I say, and I'm like, where the hell did they get that from? Like, that is not what I said. Nobody would come to that conclusion. So what I had also heard that she had said on the podcast was a little bit different. Like, I wanted those facts that she said I had 2 glasses of champagne. And then the fact that she was depressed, she felt like she had shot herself with depression. I had never heard her say that at all. Or being hungover, which hungover I assume to mean the next day, right? So that would have affected her decision to want to go to Hollywood Horror Nights or not, right? So I don't know. Candace says, MJ sounded so lame with her answers, it made the lie worse. Well, one thing I know is everyone has an opinion on this, and I've seen from one extreme to another that Jeff was too hard on her. He expects people to live to his standards, and when they don't, he gets upset. And then I've also heard a lot of what Candace has said. I just wanted us all to hear exactly what she said, and then we can make a decision if it was a different conversation that she and Jeff seem to have on the radio, right? Robin says, yes, I believe that. You can really change your body's chemistry with the shots. He's just picking on her. Carnie got it today. Yes, I definitely want to hear about that because I did get some DMs about that he is really going in hard on Carnie today. Okay, what else? Brittany Cartwright is opening her own bar in West Hollywood. Don't know that we need another bar in West Hollywood. Don't know that she's famous enough for this because, no one's going for the bar. They're going for the name, which I think people, if they haven't already, are going to die out from Jax's bar in Studio City. It's in Studio City. What else? Shane and Kelly Dodd. So people started DMing me either yesterday or the day before. I'm not sure. I'm always a little slower on the DMs on the weekends. So I didn't look to see when it was, but a couple of people were saying, have you heard that Shane unfollowed or Kelly Dodd unfollowed Shane or Shane unfollowed him? And maybe it's politics. Maybe they had a feud. And I'm like, I have no idea. What I do know is I think Shane still follows. Let me check right now because I don't check all that. Like, unless there's a feud, I don't think even when there is one, I don't think to see, oh, did Shane unfollow or not? I think Shane is still following Megan. He's not following Chef Stew, which I think Shane is still following Megan. So I can't imagine, I don't even know if he was following Kelly Dodd to begin with. I have no idea. But then I said, I don't know. Tell me what's going on. I don't know. So then enough people DM me about it. But again, I think it was something on Reddit. I don't even know. I think someone could have even made it up for all I know. Because then somebody sent me and said, oh, never mind. Because of course they're asking me to know. And I'm like, I don't know. They sent and said, oh, she's talking about it on the Rick and Kelly show today. And I said, okay, send me a clip or send me a timestamp of when it happened. And at least as of about an hour ago, nobody had sent me that. Somebody then posted in the Sarah from Texas Facebook group, hey, is Shane and Kelly Dodd feuding? I'm hearing that. And I'm like, I don't know. It's like I'm hearing something, but I think by now at 3:22 Texas time, if she had said any details, I'm hearing what she said on her show, and I have not listened yet, is basically she was saying somebody is telling her they're feuding or that he unfollowed her. And she's like, I don't know that he followed me to begin with. So I don't know if she's still following him, if they were ever, who knows? There's no way to prove if anyone's following. You don't get like a date. When someone unfollows you, you don't get like a notification. When someone follows you, you do. But if you're Kelly Dodd and you have like 600,000-700,000, you don't even see, like, I doubt she even checks to see if he was following her, and then she could have forgotten. So I don't really know what's going on with that. Let me know if anyone hears anything more for sure. Krista says, Britney is making a terrible mistake opening a bar. I hope she's not fronting the money. Yeah, because, and recently she did the podcast with the former executive producer, whatever his name is, Alex, not Baldwin, Alex Baskin from Real World, from Bravo and all that, Housewives. And Kiki Monique did a summary of it, and somebody sent me her story or her video summarizing that podcast, and basically without saying everything that's going on in the Valley, because she can't, Britney confirmed that she was paying for all four of the rentals that she had during the separation because Jax wouldn't move out of the house. And she says she was paying, I think, all the bills on the house. I have no idea where Jax was, why he's not putting his money forward, that they had things separated, what their agreement was, because clearly he was also in a facility for 30 days. Like it wasn't an in and out type facility like Shannon Bedore was in. He was in a facility. But she also says, look, he had time enough to rage text me continuously. So I figured after a while, I really do need to file for divorce, because if he's got time to still rage text me while he's trying to get himself better with whatever issues he has, then this is just not going to work out at all. You know what I mean? I still have no proof or anything to tell y'all on Andrew Coleman. I don't know why a picture of a casket was put up in his highlights reel on Instagram. I think his page has all been deleted now. Not deleted. The posts have been deleted, which I don't think you can do that with one click. I don't know. I've never done it. But the account is still there as far as I know. I did text him immediately when y'all were telling me that, that this had gone on, that you were worried that he might have passed away. As much as Jeff doesn't say a whole lot, see, now it just says the account is private. So there's no post or anything. The profile picture is just a picture of him over a propeller or something. So I don't know. I don't know. Somebody did tell me they messaged Doug, and Doug pretty much said, I don't know him. So, but that's not true. Doug Doug definitely knows of Andrew Coleman's name. I mean, all these years. So I thought that was weird that his response was something like, I don't know him. I don't know who he is. And I'm like, anyways, I don't know why Jeff wouldn't tell us if he has passed away or why just a picture of a casket, So obviously, anyway, so I don't have an update on that, but I really hope that he is still with us, clearly. Yes, Jet says, was Andrew sick with something previously? Yes, don't get me wrong. I think it was prostate cancer. I think it was prostate cancer, but I could be absolutely wrong. Definitely a cancer. The last few times I've texted with him, he was very vague. Like he would even say like staying above the ground. And I'm like, I mean, I'd like to hear you're doing a little better than just staying above the ground. Missing you, hanging in is what he said on August 8th, just out of the blue. May 24th, miss seeing you. What's going on? Hope all is well. This is all from him. On April 24th, I sent him some stuff, or maybe maybe we're having a conversation. Looks like we've been. So he had definitely been sick and in the hospital with this and stuff at some point. Another time, and he said, I'm plugging along, friends, staying above ground. So I don't really know. I never really knew how he was doing, to be honest with you, because he was super light and airy about it. And I don't think he wanted to bring other people down. But, I met him a few times and think he's just a dreamboat. So anyways, it's confusing and concerning for sure. Okay. Left turn. 90 Day Fiance Before the 90 Days, season 7, episode 11. We even got a newbie in. I'm like, it's episode 11. Like, TLC, what are y'all doing? Tiger, Lily, and Adnan, who I think have come out now. Have they officially said they've had a baby? I think it was a little elusive last week. I think they officially came out and said they had a baby, but I'm not positive. I know they're going shopping, and he surprises her with like an indoor-outdoor mall called the Grand Bazaar, but he doesn't like how she's dressed, like a little too tight, so he won't let her take off her coat even though she's really hot. Her feet are killing her because she's wearing stilettos. They go into a store. Now, the only reason I care about this is because she seems to care about this. I mean, she's all about the hair, the eyelashes, the lips, the clothes, the car she drives, having money, what have you. They go to a store that must sell fakes because it was Louis Vuitton and all these other brands that I don't think, even in Turkey, although I've never been to Turkey, I don't think they would all sell it all together. So I'm assuming it had to be a fake. And she lets him buy her a fake Louis Vuitton backpack. And that just blew my mind because I just wouldn't think even if you're buying it in a hurry, I wouldn't think she would want a fake Louis Vuitton. It was just bizarre, right? Like, what did you think? Tracy says, I've been able to understand that she is the problem, so that Tiger Lily's the problem, not Adnan. I kind of agree with you because she keeps going back. Like, this is their storyline every week since even before they got married. But since they got married, is she keeps saying, well, I don't understand. Is this your religion? Is this your culture? Do you just have rules? Like, I know y'all only dated 4 months. It is not his problem that you didn't make it a priority to learn about what his expectations were going to be, what his religion is, what his culture is. It seems pretty obvious that anyone by 41 years old has heard enough. I mean, geez, if she watches 90 Day Fiance, which I'm sure if she went through the process of getting on 90 Day Fiance, she probably watches the show. Like, how did she not know anything about the Muslim religion or his Turkish culture that he was going to have a problem with the way she dresses? I think he's lenient compared to how she dresses. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Anyways. Oh, it is? Oh, that's funny. I didn't even pay attention. Apocrypha? Am I saying that right? Apocrypha? Same mall that Sarper took Shekinah, you mean? You said Selena. Do you mean Shekinah? Anyways, very interesting. He basically, his English is always a little bit broken, but he's like, this is an ugly place. Like the people, I can see them, and it's just not a place that I want you to have your body out showing like that. I know men, and I know how they're looking at you. And I'm like, I just don't think she's that cute. I think people are looking at her because she's got 400 inches of fake platinum blonde plastic baby doll looking hair hanging from her head with these big obnoxious lips and crappy eyelashes. I think that's it. In stilettos at the mall. That's why people are looking at your wife, Sarper. Adding on. Matilda and Niles. She's finally come to the conclusion that they're just going to do the knocking ceremony, but she keeps like adding. She definitely thinks that Niles is an American and he's got all this money. $249. He has made it clear that that's a lot of money and he does not have it. And also, I don't think he wants to be taken advantage of. She's like, look, this knocking ceremony to me sounds like an engagement party, right? Like we had an engagement party. Not everyone in the US does, but depending on the culture, this knocking ceremony is super traditional and super required in her family. And he is supposed to pay for, or I don't know if he's supposed to, but he needs to pay for it for her sister to go buy all the food, and not just for the 20 family members, but now she wants her brother's friends to be invited, her sister's friends to be invited, her mom's friends to be invited, like up to 90 people. He doesn't have this money. So all she's doing is making him anxious about the money, but also he probably is starting to feel used. Like, hey, I thought it would be like 20 people, and now you're saying 90, as if, money is no object and I can just provide all of this. You know what I mean? Yes, that's funny, Jet. I did see that about Mattel and the wicked corn website. Corn. Anyways, Matilda gives him a tour of her house and the fact that she sleeps on the floor with 2 other people. The shower has no running water. You just go and fetch the water and pour it on you. He was shocked, which, I thought he held it together. I definitely don't think he meant to be rude, but I did like that she let him know, hey, that really hurt my feelings. It was really rude. And if my mom would have heard you say all that, it would have really hurt her feelings, because she's providing the best she can for all of us. And she doesn't think her home is nasty. Like, this is how we live and this is kind of normal. So for you to be so kind of grossed out by it and disappointed, like, this is our home. So I did like that she talked to him about it and he was accepting of that. But he's kind of like, well, maybe this is part of my autism. And I'm like, that's just people being honest and saying what you need to say. Yeah, Tracy says, I did too. It was a teaching moment for Niles. Exactly. I just like that if that's the way they're going to handle things that disappoint each other, I think they're well set up for marriage, even though, she's 23, which seems young in the US, on the younger end of getting married, but probably not on the younger end where she lives in Ghana. Okay, the new one they introduced us to is very confident, cocky, obnoxious, if you will. Joe from West Palm Beach. He's 34, very Italian. He's dating a girl named Magna, who's 23, from Poland, for 5 months. She's already quit her job and she wants to move to America and be a mother. So, they've got issues. If anything, they should have not shown us the Chitty and Renee BS of it all, and they should have been focusing on them, because I think that was going to be a little more whatever. So we really don't know much other than his family is a little concerned, and they should be in real time. I don't know anything about this couple because I haven't seen them or heard anything about them. So this was the first time on episode 11 of this. They do show Vea and Sonny, who he is Muslim. She's got tattoos, which is not welcome in the Muslim community. And then one of his best friends, Ali, pretty much says, why haven't you told her that she needs to convert to Muslim? Like, she needs to be a Muslim woman if she's going to marry you and y'all are going to have a life together. And Sonny's like, well, I didn't want to tell her that till we got to know each other. And I'm like, no. That's huge. When she's deciding to fly over from Orlando, Florida, to your country, you need to have that conversation, because I think at this point they've already said I love yous. She already thinks that he, or is hoping that he's going to propose at the end of this trip, and she knows nothing. They have not. That's the whole moral of this whole season. None of these people have had big conversations. None of them are asking the questions, answering the questions, being honest with each other. None of them. It's crazy. Yeah. Liz and the Bee says, I felt like I was watching Jersey Shore with Joe and his family. Yeah, it was like, Joey's home. We loving Joey's home. They're like cooking the asparagus on the grill. Joey. Of course, he's dated one of his friends. I mean, I was like, oh my God. Oh my God. He's like, I love my cool car. I mean, he and Ramona need to get together. They've got enough confidence for each other, right? Good grief. Bea and Sonny took a shower together. I don't know that I needed to see that. We could have alluded to that. The camera guy could have left. Blah, 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 blah. Renee and Chitty, he brings her all these gifts, or a couple of gifts, which was odd. I think it was maybe stuff that he, they've already broken up. She's making a decision to fly back early. She's packing up. She lets him know that. He says, I would like to see you. So her sister-in-law, his sister drives him to looks like a mall or hotel or something. She calls him evil. He's not evil at all. Like, I don't know if she thinks at 5.5 years of dating long distance that she really thought he was using her. I think he would have sped that shit up a little bit further if he was using her. I think he's got a perfectly fine situation living with his friends, his sister, his brother-in-law who seem to love him. So he gives her these gifts, and she kind of puts them away, whatever. And they get into a fight. She storms off, and he's just kind of like, look, I think for a long time, I didn't feel the way I needed to feel, and I probably could have been honest with her. So in that respect, I feel like maybe he was leading her on. But I think they'd never met in person, and he just wanted to see how it was going to be in person, because I've never dated anyone. Well, I've never dated anyone that I've never met before. Like, this is a whole thing that's only come about since computers and dating and Match.com and now these dating apps. I mean, and now like WhatsApp or whatever all this stuff is, you know what I mean? Tracy said it does sound like she has been this way all along. Too bad that Chitty didn't call this off sooner. Yeah. Because even his sister is like, she's been aggressive. She's had these attitudes. You know what I mean? It was awful. I mean, I would almost say that she treats Chitty worse than Angela treated Michael. Now, I don't know all the ins and outs. I feel like Michael and Angela are just more on the same line of like, fight, make up, fight, make up. We all have one of those couples as friends. We're not friends with them anymore, but we used to have a couple that just fought, made up. It was annoying. But if that works for them, great. I don't feel like that was the case with Chitty. I don't think he wanted to fight and make up all the time. But, they'd never met in person, so it was just crazy. Me too. Liz and the Bee says, I'm so happy that Chitty has his sister. She seems very loving and protective. And the brother-in-law too, right? And they've got a little baby. So he, Chitty cooks around the house, I don't know. Yeah, it is. Jet says, I'm so glad to hear that Dubai is canceled or paused. Good riddance. Yeah, I liked it okay, but I was just watching it just so I didn't miss anything. But if they cancel it, I won't miss it. For sure. Okay. Well, Krista says, I wish I knew who these people are. Well, now we're going to get into Jeff Lewis. So you definitely know who those people are. Okay, today was Carnie Wilson and Beverly D'Angelo on the first hour, and then Molly Sims and Kristen Takeman on the second hour. Jeff finally gives us an update on his butt. No, not the hemorrhoid. That is back. He has another hemorrhoid. But that he had 4 polyps removed when he had the colonoscopy a few weeks ago. So he said the doctor said to return in 5 years. It's all, I mean, everything you read and my personal experience, it's like 1 to 3 polyps is kind of like you come back in 3 years, depending on the family history, depending on the size of the polyps, if they had to be broken up into a few different ones, all sorts of details about the colonoscopy results determine if they need to come back within 6 months, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. So I'm just glad he finally got it done. It is absolutely one of the most early detected cancers to be done. So I don't think he has known GI issues, and I don't know about any of his family history, but I'm just glad that he got it done. So it finally let us know. Then they chat about flight attendants because they, of course, on Friday's show, they did have this. You want out, Luna? Lulu, come here. Come here. Come with me. They did on Friday's show. I mean, a disaster. I mean, I guess Crystal had a problem getting to Dallas. Jeff and Shane had a delay getting to Dallas. There was issues with the hotel. Pole and Patrick had issues with their hotel room. I mean, it just sounded like a nightmare. So for some reason, they start talking about flight attendants, and they said they met a unicorn, which was a straight male flight attendant. So I don't know that that's a unicorn, but if I told you I know a straight male flight attendant in real life, I would have to say no. So I don't really know. Oh, thank you, Krista. She says, Sarah, you're wonderful for encouraging people to get their screenings done. That's me, the colonoscopy girl. My third colonoscopy is going to be scheduled very soon. I've got a FaceTime, or what do you call those things? A virtual appointment with the doctor, and then we will do the colonoscopy after that. Okay. What did you think? Okay, so Carnie Wilson went to Mariah Carey. I don't know why that's a tongue twister. And she had front row tickets. Now, the thing of this is Carnie is from a very musical family. Her dad, her sister, her whole life, her daughter. So she's trying to be like, this was amazing to be at Mariah Carey. So Mariah Carey is coming to Houston on this same tour, not tomorrow, but the next Tuesday, because my friends and I thought about going. And I was like, no, we're doing Cyndi Lauper a few days before that. I'm like, I'm not the biggest concert person, so I definitely don't want to go to 2 huge concerts in a few days. Like, that's just too much. The parking, the getting there, the late night, the standing, you never sit at a concert. I was just like, no, I would much rather see Cyndi Lauper than Mariah Carey. So I was kind of curious what her thoughts on were. Basically, she's like, she was pre-taping some singing. There might have been some lip syncing. She doesn't really move. Everyone around her is dancing, and she just kind of has to be moved. And I was like, yeah, like, I don't want to see. I already saw a clip of her surprising the audience, I guess, at the event that she was at, this Hollywood Bowl one, with her twins, the boy and girl. And they were pre-mic'd, and it was so fake. Now, granted, they're young. They're like 11, 12, 13, something like that. But they were like, what should we sing? You know, as if they hadn't been told and rehearsed what they were going to do. So I didn't love that, but whatever. But then Mariah Carey's like, I'm going to need my glam squad to carry me off the stage. And then 2 people came, and I don't think it's my thing. But, you know, just hearing Carnie Wilson talk about the washed out vocals and, you know, the fact that she was just kind of sitting there and might have been lip syncing. Then they start talking about Carnie's song that she wrote in 93 called Hey Santa. And Jeff just goes off. Now, I was on delay, and I was already getting the DMs about, oh my God, I wish he would lay off of Carnie. He's been so mean to her lately. But he even says, when I'm teasing with someone means I really like them. It's almost like the second grade boy in Jeff Lewis, where, he's tugging on the girl's ponytail and she's like, stop, stop. And, that's the one that he likes. You know what I mean? Like, she walks by and he steps on her shoestring and he's like, that's the girl he's got a crush on. Now, does he have a crush on Carnie Wilson or just a bestie crush? I do not know, but it was a little relentless. I think at some point she gets her feelings hurt and might tell him during the commercial breaks, or I don't know, another time, like, dude, lay off, especially when it comes to her business of these 2 candles that she's got. So this brokentopcandleco.com has a lot of candles. So it's not real clear which are the 2 that are Carnie Wilson's, because they don't say it's Carnie Wilson's, but the 2 scents that she talks about are hers. So she's pushing this a lot. I can't imagine this is putting a dent in her bank account, though. So and she often says things like, I wish I had enough money for that, or when I have enough money, I don't know. I don't think she has as much money as she wishes for. Southern Belle Cell says that's just an excuse to bully folks. Do you feel like he was bullying her? See, I feel like bullying is all about the intent, and I do not feel his intent was off. But I will definitely get accused of making excuses for Jeff. But I just think he and Carnie are such good friends. Yeah. I don't disagree. Yvonne Gal says he just doesn't know when to stop. I mean, he always talks about, like, what does he call, like a dog in heat? Like, what's that phrase he always uses? It's not a dog in heat, but you know what I mean? Like, he can't stop. Like, he's beating a dead horse. Is what he says. Beating a dead horse. He definitely beats a dead horse for sure. Debbie says, my favorite aunt once told me that people can insult you and be rude and then look. I don't know what that means. Kathy says, I wish you would talk to Kelly Dodd like that. I think she would break. Wow, psych warfare. Krista, I mean, I've been on this end of it for sure. Krista says, Jeff is masterful at bullying, psych warfare. A dog with a bone. Yeah. Oh, my favorite aunt told me once that you can insult you and be rude and look you in the eyes and tell you they were just joking and those people aren't your friends. Do you think Jeff has do you think something's going on, like, that we don't know about? I do think Jeff is a king of, what do they call it? Aggressive behavior, whatever you call it, passive aggressive. Like, he can be upset at Shane, so then he'll say something, but it has nothing to do with what he's actually upset about Shane with. Do you think there's something going on with him and Carnie? I don't know of anything, and I don't think he would have her on so quickly. I think that's his punishment. Remember, that seems how he would punish Chef Stu when they were fighting. A couple of times when they were dating, whether it was public or not, Stu was supposed to either come on or surprise or different things, and Jeff would snatch that away if they were fighting last minute. So definitely, I don't think Jeff would have a problem replacing her with someone else if he really had an issue. And she was just on the other day, which, again, I think we need space. Y'all know that Carnie is one that had to grow on me a little bit. I think I need a couple of weeks between a lot of the guests, right? Anyways, so I thought it was a little bit much. A lot of you thought Carnie was, that Jeff was too hard on Carnie. Beverly D'Angelo was typical, just kind of like defending Carnie. And then she was like, wait, after the break, I listened to the words of the Hey Santa. And she was just all over the place, whatever this ornament she invented, and then she has no idea how to sell it. She doesn't know what her price should be. She doesn't know where how to make a website, how to whatever. I think it was genius, the caller that called in that got a VIP ticket or VVIP, whichever one she got. She was calling in for that, but somehow it brought up, and then Beverly said, oh, why don't we sell them to the chumps at your next live event? So if you have a ticket, or if you live in where's the show? Irvine? Shoot. OC? Irvine? Is that the same? I think they've used two different words. She will be selling her autographed, what was it called? I didn't love the name of it. I mean, yes, of course, I've seen her movies with Chevy Chase, but I don't know. I didn't love it for sure. Yes. Wait, Jet says, I love Jeff's face on the videos during the commercials when Carney starts eating snacks from her purse. I don't even think he ever notices that. I do. You know, a lot of times on the commercial breaks, the guest will talk to each other, or they'll talk to Shane, or Jeff will talk to Shane. But often Jeff is on his phone, or he's scratching out notes that he's already written about. So I didn't even notice that he's ever noticed her eating a snack. You know, anyways. Okay, on the after show, it's not the after show. On the second hour, it was Molly Sims and Kristen Takeman. Started off, we could have known nothing about the horse thing. I don't know that I needed to hear that she left her 9-year-old at a horse event and drove 2.5 hours back to LA to do some event. Then the daughter gets hurt or bucked off the horse, so the EMT is there. She had a neck brace on, 9 years old. I had a daughter that did horse riding in competitions. I mean, we didn't leave her. We certainly didn't go 2.5 hours away. I don't know who she was left with, like her coach. And then it sounded like she spent the night and drove home. Like, who did she sleep with? I have no idea. But then they kind of start getting into like, which kid is their favorite? I mean, literally, it was awkward. I love Kristen. I've met her a few times. Think she's so nice. Such a great mom. It is, I understand that she's struggling with her son being on Accutane and having acne, and they're taking Christmas pictures and all this stuff. I do think it's hard when she brings it up as if he doesn't know about, I don't know. I hope he doesn't hear it. I hope his friends don't hear it. Hope the parents don't hear it. And it gets back that he's saying this, because it's one thing when you're talking to your best friend at a coffee shop, like, I'm so concerned he's got acne, because it can. If you've never dealt with a child with severe acne or even mild acne, but enough to go on Accutane, as a mom, you are worried. You're worried that their self-confidence, that, how to fix it. They're worried about it. Their friends, a girlfriend, Christmas pictures, all the things. So that part I definitely understood. I just didn't like when it sort of got to where she was kind of acting like, yeah, my younger daughter is going to start her period soon. She needs to go away to boarding school, and I think it'll be better for her. And I was like, I don't know about saying this on worldwide radio. Definitely didn't love when Aurora called in. I don't know. I didn't know. Why did I love the after show today? Yes, Hannah, I have said that many times. If you're a regular, Hannah says, well, the same could be said about Jeff talking about Monroe. Absolutely. I say it about that. And I want to hear it. Don't get me wrong. A lot of the things I want to hear, some are cringe. When he's called her the B word, I've been like, like, you're calling a 6-year-old a B, like, literally. And you know the word I'm talking about. When some of the housewives show some of their stuff with their kids, I'm all, the reality TV stars, you know what I mean? Debbie says, I think it's mean to favor the son because the daughter's on the brink of going through puberty. Come on, kids that age can be moody. It's the rite of passage. Yeah. And you just hope it doesn't get back to them. I mean, their mom is famous, and, people hear, and I don't know, is just as much as people tell me that they send Gage stuff, or they send Jeff stuff, or they send Shane stuff, or Doug stuff, the stuff they send me, I know people send or will talk to Kristen Takeman's kids that are 9 and 17, I think, for sure. You know what I mean? Yes. I mean, Jet, yeah. He talks about her being skinny and, what have you. And that was another thing. I think one of them said something, did Molly say something like one of their kids were chunky? And I was like, Jet says, OMG, Jeff will be talking about Monroe's physical development every step of the way. Yeah. Anyways, didn't love that. Like I said, Aurora, I was like, okay, so last night, I was supposed to make these chicken meatballs, this recipe I was going to make. Well, then I realized, and I posted it on my Instagram, it's really easy. The ingredients are easy. I'm finding that's why I'm into cooking lately. These easy, simple, normal ingredients are showing up, like Parmesan cheese. I'm like, oh, I can do that. When you talk about Gouda and Fruta and, I get lost. Like, I know cheddar, I know mild, I know sharp, I know uh, feta cheese, I know Parmesan, I know mozzarella. I don't know all these other fancies. So when I see simple ingredients that I know where they're at, or I can just put them on my Walmart pickup order, I've wanted to make these recipes. Well, then last night I was like, oh my God, my husband had grilled so much food Saturday night because we had friends come over and watch the LSU game, which, Alabama game. And we had so much, we had burgers left, sausage, like not hot dogs, sausage and jalapeno, like bratwurst or whatever. Anyways, we had so much leftover food on top of this Italian pot roast, on top of chicken and rice that I ended up throwing away. So I'm making it today. So I'm pre-made the meatballs because I'm crunched for time because I have a fun event to go to tonight that a friend of mine started and my light just went out. So I'm going to look a little dark now. Anyway, so I was making the meatballs for that. And I heard Aurora call in. I was kind of like, did I miss something? Or did she out of the blue just call? Yes, it's chicken meatballs and orzo, like rice. So thank you, Sephora. Number 38. Please hit the like button, everyone. I really appreciate it. Just right now, go bam and hit the thumbs up button. I'd really appreciate it. And make a comment. Yum. I love chicken vegetable soup. Did you use a rotisserie chicken? Because I mean, Jet says I made homemade chicken vegetable soup for the first time ever this weekend, and I actually didn't ruin it. It was good, but a lot of freaking work. I think soup is so easy. I love it. Yvonne Gal says my crock pot is my new best friend. Me too, for sure. I didn't love Aurora's phone call. I thought it was weird. I didn't really understand. It seemed very similar to the setup a few weeks ago where they were like, let's call and let her complain about the Halloween music and it's scaring me. And then we're going to turn up the volume. She wasn't even home. So I think the skit didn't exactly work. She was like walking Toby. I just didn't love it. I think there's so much realness they could do with adding Aurora or Zoila into the show or Maria, and they don't. Like, I just think it just seemed pre-produced. I don't love that. Yes, okay, I'm not the only one. Debbie says Aurora's phone call was fake. It was filler, which was weird because, I would like to say they had enough to talk about, but maybe they didn't, right? Okay, so Wise Beauty, WYSE beauty.com, Chumpmas 20. I don't know why she had to make it so complicated because, then Jeff was like spelling it wrong. And I'm like, oh my God, we are running towards the end. So if anyone has any generic questions real quick, any TV shows they're watching. Yeah, Krista says, I hate fake. Give me real. Yeah. Jet says, I didn't hear it, but yeah, you can always tell when it's a forced planned bit. I didn't love it. And she wasn't really, Teddy and Edwin, Teddy Mellencamp and her husband are getting a divorce. Now it's coming out that she was having an affair with her horse trainer and there was maybe a big tiff at a horse event. I'm like, why did nobody film this? Why was this so long ago? Why is nobody talking about this? I feel like Bravo and Cocktails, maybe I might be getting people mixed up. I feel like Bravo and Cocktails and or Dumois put out something a while ago alluding to Teddy. They never say the name. They just always say things like an OG who's not on the show anymore's husband, they'll say like that. You know what I mean? Oh yes. Debbie says, was my sparkly dress party fun? Wasn't really a party. 11 of us went out to dinner, but they wanted us to dress sparkly. So I wore the very sparkly dress that I wore to one of the BravoCon days. And I took a picture of Jeff in it because he happened to show up at the VIP room. So it's a silver VIP or silver sequined, like a casual dress. Thank goodness, because I wore little tennis shoes with it. Oh, Debbie says Teddy is dying to get back on Beverly Hills. I did see that her BFF, Kyle Richards, is going to walk her through this very sad divorce. So we'll see. Southern Belle says, are we sick of MJ? Yes or no? Sick of her, meaning she comes on the show a lot? No, I don't think she comes on the show too much. Do I think there's been, I think he just rolled over that whole app where she was selling that stuff. I thought that was very interesting, given what I went through with him blasting me and not having all the facts. Anyway, so yeah, I don't know. MG is on her last leg with JLL, Jet says. Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see, right? Okay, well, he is on the plane to New York City. So tons of housewives. I mean, the first hour, the second hour, all week long. I feel like his promo said that Nicole Ryan is going to be on 2 different days, but I don't feel like he said that this week or last week. So that might have been a typo. I'm not really sure. So anyways, I will see you all week this week. I don't change my schedule much, but when I do, I always let you know on Facebook and the YouTube and my Instagram. But I will be here every day the rest of the week, 4 p.m. Eastern. So join me. Make sure you make sure you hit the thumbs up. Make sure you comment. And of course, that you're following me everywhere or listen as a podcast at Sarah from Texas. Bye, Chumpettes. Adore you.